Welcome back, traders, to another installment of XRP USDT swing trade analysis using the volume profile. I will be picking up from where I left off some time ago when I did a analysis on XRP. Quite a lot of time has passed since then, so we're going to pick up from that point, as well as all the new changes that I do need to make. And also, as a heads up, you're going to be seeing quite a fair bit of videos coming out today, just because I have a lot of time on my hands today. So I've decided I'm just going to create a whole bunch of content. So look out for the videos that will be coming out. I believe all of them are going to be related to cryptos. So if you're interested in cryptos, today is your day. So with that said and done, we're going to get straight into it. Now, the last analysis that I did, okay, this is what we had going on. I set up a channel that wasn't really complete, okay, because I was expecting price to make its way down here somewhere where we could have picked up some XRPs to ride it to the upside. And at this level, we're talking roughly around 60 cents, okay, 60 cents per XRP. Now, obviously, that hasn't happened. XRP has started to moon, just like with the main asset of the day, or what I like to call the main event, right? Bitcoin started to moon, and naturally, XRP did the same, and that didn't happen. So what that basically means is we need to readjust what is currently happening in the XRP space, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the drawings that we have on here. So we're going to remove that all, okay? And then what I'm now going to do is we're going to lay on the anchored volume profile, and I'm going to start it from the low point of XRP, which was when it was at 51 cents. And then we're going to drag it that way, and obviously we have all the data that we need. Okay, so the key areas of importance for us is the volume area low and the volume area high. These two areas are extremely important to us, okay, because this helps us to decide what we want to do, if you're going to be taking shorts all the way down to the volume area low, or if you're going to be buying from the volume area low all the way up to the volume area high. You see, I'm just giving you guys a little gem. So with that said and done, the first thing we're going to do is we want to know exactly what is happening here, so we can kind of have a rough understanding as to what we can expect to take place, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can identify any form of a trend in this area, and I believe I can see one, which is we have some form of an ascending channel. Okay, so we got an ascending channel, I believe. So let me just make sure we get into all of these wicks, right? And it's an acceptable structure that I've put down. So we've got 2 touch points at the top. Okay, a third one will be good. And then we have 2 touch points at the bottom, and this one is relatively close. So let me just adjust it this way a bit and just move this down. Yes, so you can kind of say we've got 3 touch points at the bottom, even though it wicks through. The main thing is that it's through the wicks and not through the bodies. So we've got that going on, which makes sense. What's happening here makes a lot of sense. The probability of a push to the upside from this area over here also makes a lot of sense, because we have a low volume node sitting in this area right next to the volume or the value area low, which is this level right here. So we have price looks like it wants to go down to the value area low, which is at $1.98. And also in this area as well, we have a low volume node, right? So let me just highlight that for you guys over here. Okay, let's highlight that. Okay. And then there is what I'm thinking about doing. So first things first is had I seen this, because with XRP, if I was to get involved, because of what XRP is, I would kind of want to treat it like Bitcoin, right? Which is not necessarily looking for shorts, but if I am looking for a short, okay, it's just to make some extra coins on its way down, and once it gets to the appropriate levels, I'll be buying straight back into the market again. So looking at where we are right now, I can see XRP is currently sitting at $1.86, right? Sorry, $2.86 or $2.85, right? So that's what we have going on right now. And what I would want to do if I was going to jump in is I would have made that move a few days ago, unfortunately. So as it stands now, we now need to look at possible areas for a buyback into XRP, right? That's what we need to do. So let me just have a quick look as to see what kind of opportunities we can derive from what's going on with XRP right now. Okay, so a buyback into XRP, a buying into XRP, because obviously it's dropped a fair bit, right? It could drop some more, but however, we kind of want to, because we've missed it, right? So I can't tell you to start selling now, or I can't put forward the idea of selling now, because once again, not a financial advisor. We've got to choose these words carefully, right? So what I would say is this. If we're looking to buy back into the market, right? If we're looking to buy back into the market, we have to look at sensible locations. Now, this whole area here is a low volume node, right? This whole area over here is a low volume node. As a matter of fact, let me just draw that out. Is a low volume node. Okay, now price could bounce back up to the upside, and if it was to do that, then this is what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at getting in at say $2.60. So let me get the coordinates up on that. So $2.60. We're just going to round off the numbers. And let me see if I can add a little text in here as well. So I would say buy here. Buy here, and price label. Yes, we've got the price label there, $2. So this is the price label over here. Okay, so that's what I'll be thinking about locking in on some XRPs, right? And if it goes lower, then naturally, what I would do is clone. And then the next option is to buy over here, right? If XRP comes down to this level. And once again, we're just going to round off the numbers. So $2.25. 00 or $2.02 actually. $2.02. $2.02, right? So these are the two locations that I would be looking at to take my orders, where I'll be looking to take my orders. If I've missed the overall opportunity to short, but I wanted to buy back in, this is why I would do it. So the reason why I will place these orders in the way that I've just mentioned is, first things first, we have price in a low volume node over here. It could bounce from this location, and if it does and it comes as low as $2.60, I will grab some at that level, right? Makes sense. If it drops lower, right? If it drops lower and it comes down to the volume area low, or the value area low, which is around this level over here, just above that at $2.02, I would lock in some more buy positions at this level over here to ride it to the upside. That is if you have missed the boat and you want to get on it, right? Because look at this situation over here. Price is rejecting off this level right here. So a buy in this location makes sense. Okay, you could take a buy in this location over here also if you really want to get in. Okay, but this is the most sensible location for a buy in my opinion. So based off that, that will be the recommendation moving forward. I can't really think of anything to add to that situation at the moment right now, besides these 2 points that I've highlighted. We are looking at this on a daily, so it makes sense for a long swing trade to the upside. Okay, so like I said, if everything I've mentioned today makes any sense to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you turn on the notification, and drop us a like. And do all of that if you just coming over here and hearing valued content, right? But either way, I will appreciate you. So with that all said and done, I will see you all on the next one.